Mm-hmm. Yes, we
What's
are.
up, girl?
Hmm. Well, we're here.
How you doing, baby?
I'm all right. It's freaking cold.
It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold and wet here in Sac Town.
Mm-hmm.
Get down. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So, what's cracking, TSOA land? Send ours to the worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Send ours to the worthy.
Yep.
Hope everybody's well out there. Hope
Yeah.
you're well, baby girl.
I'm all right, except for being cold. I guess I gotta go get some slippers on or something. I don't know.
Yeah. The
How
dog was having a meltdown a few seconds ago, folks.
How are you doing?
He wanted. I'm doing good. Just chilling. Fucking, gonna hang out with you and the folks for a little bit and discuss a few topics here. Since we watched the movie called The Strike on Pelican Bay Hunger Strikes, y'all hope y'all check that out. It's definitely a good movie, and we will be getting into that here in a little bit. Yeah.
Yep, and the link is in our description in case you having a hard time finding it.
Right. Yep. So check it out, man. If you haven't,
I
can't
did
miss it.
hear that our Australian friend wasn't able to view it, and I'm sorry. I don't know why they're limiting where it can be seen, but hopefully other countries aren't being limited. As you know, the United States of America does have its First Amendment, and I guess other countries find that offensive or something, which is terrible. I think anybody should be able to express themselves verbally, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that. I thought, well, yeah, that's kind of weird, but yeah, hopefully our friend down under and the rest of them can check it out, man, and because you don't want to miss it. It definitely hit home for me. I know that much. I lived it. Shout out to Jack and Dolores, man. All our love to you guys and respects, and everybody who participated in that little get down right there, man. It definitely gave some light to solitary confinement and the injustices that go on when we're paying our dues to society, just being locked up in a box. So, but yeah, babe,
some folks don't think that's good enough, though. Being locked up isn't good enough. And
I guess, man. I mean, and I get there, and I understand, but I disagree because when they find themselves in that position where they got a son or a daughter or a brother or a nephew or a father or a mother or a grandpa, whoever, going through the system, I guess they might understand then.
Maybe.
But,
maybe.
I don't know. It's just it's a shame, man, unless you're living it. So, I mean, people have their opinions.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They're going to have their opinions, good and bad, I guess, man.
But their opinions are based on fear-mongering and not facts. And that's the problem.
Right. I mean, how do you justify putting a man in solitary confinement for 30 years over 2 or 3 prison snitches or another man loaning him a book or a birthday card or a drawing or never committing a prison crime? It wasn't a crime to loan somebody a study book or a fucking Louis L'Amour shit kicker Western book or But as soon as they see that, and they see me talking to you, that's over with. You're going to shoot forever. Well, you can, these guys commit staff assaults and they go to shoot for 3 years and they get out. So I don't know. It was a fucked up system. It's still a fucked up system. And
denying it
they found a way.
Denying it exists still is the most fucked up system of all.
Yeah. Well, they found a way to circumvent the validation. The validation process using the confidential informants and confidential documents. So they said, yeah, basically you're right. We're not doing the validation like that no more. But around this corner over here, this is what we are doing with the safety concerns. And we're going to keep you indefinitely in the hole or in the shoe or in a quasi-hole shoe, whatever. And that's that. And so they haven't stopped. They just found a new face for that pig.
Huh.
Some new lipstick, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Blood red.
Blood red. So, we have folks in the chat
yet? One little fellow posted a game over. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm rusty on my Russian. The name is in Russian, and I haven't been studying it enough, and
Game over, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I got you game over. Yeah, right. These people like that, and the trolls and the fear mongering the cops use to their advantage, and it's all coming to light. That's all.
What was your favorite part of that? What was your favorite part of that movie, though? What was your favorite moment in that movie? I have a couple of them.
Me too. When my buddy Jack, when I like the ending, and I got to hear it. I couldn't watch it, so but hearing it was good too. For me. But so I would have to say that there was a few parts of people telling their stories and how it affected them, and it brought back all the memories, because I remember how going through that life and sitting in a box like, holy shit, I'm only here for a couple of snitches lying about me. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't break no prison rules. Yeah, I'm in prison. I'm paying my debt to society, but I didn't break no rules while I was in here. So, I don't know. Yeah, I got a few. What was your favorite part?
There was a couple. There was I had a plus favorite and a minus favorite. And, the most negative favorite thing, I think, was when Scott Kiernan was so proud to offer that annual phone call.
That guy's name was Kelly Harrington. Yeah.
Oh, it was Kelly Harrington? I thought it was Scott Kiernan because they were kind of interchangeable.
No. Okay. Right. Yeah, that was Kelly.
Okay, but that, really, an annual phone call, that is so generous. That is so rehabilitative. That's going to make a difference in a man's life who has nothing but four walls and contemplation, and I'm sure a lot of resentment building up because they're not really giving you room for much else.
Right. Yeah. That was one of my least favorite moments of that flick, of the movie, and the first time when. What I really liked was when Holly Mitchell told Scott Kernan, well, under your policies, I would be validated a couple times. Well, who determines how long I stay in solitary confinement?
Yeah.
And he couldn't talk. He could not come with an answer. She put him on the spot, and all he could do was try to wiggle out of her grasp.
That was the penultimate.
fucking-
That was definitely the
Yeah.
penultimate moment in that film, and she lambasted that jerk. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, then Kelly Harrington says, "Well, we took care of the strike. As far as we're concerned, that's over. We met the demands. That's it." And what you guys got to understand is they fucking lied, and they lied, and they lied. They were never, ever gonna let us out of solitary confinement, and we knew it. We knew they were lying. Now you guys know why.
We got some chatter.
Hang on, but you know why? We will not stop. Okay, tell me.
Outlaw says first Team Truth Seekers of America in the house, and then he also says, according to snitch tubers, UX-shoe convicts use the phone daily to send criminal activity, yet CDCR bigwig says one call a year.
You see that, my friend? You see that, bro? I mean, think of that, man. That exposes the snitch tubers and all their propaganda as being straight bogus.
I want to say something, okay? When I met Brant, when I first met Brant, it was through a pen pal site, and for the first 8 years, I never received a phone call. You want to know why? Because he never had access to a phone. Not off the wall. And certainly no cell phones. There was nothing getting in and out of that prison that wasn't brought in by staff itself. So if there was any type of activity like that, that's the only way. I never had any contact with him at all. I was processed in a visiting lobby, put on a bus, taken to another processing, and shuffled into a little window. And he came in on the other side of that window, through different doors. I mean, completely separate entries. There was the closest we ever came to each other was what, 2 inches of glass, 1 inch of glass, but it was pretty thick, and a telephone. So
that's it.
And the phone was like direct right there. I'm speaking to my loved one, and I'm looking at him through the window, but I'm speaking on the phone, and they're listening.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And they're listening to every single word. So
everything, and there's cameras right there. They're watching. They're listening. They're watching. Let me call back.
Let's call.
Well, it looks like we found some new people to check in. M-Star Media, you'll be back. I bet you will. We got lots of good stuff here. He'll call back, as you know. The phone system only works one way, their way. We don't mess around.
An incarcerated individual at the California State Prison for Provera, California. This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Okay.
All right.
You're
back.
back.
All right. Now I'm back. So, we had I never got a call in issue. I never got to call my wife or my mother. The only outside contact I had with anybody was a letter called snail mail that took about 21 days, maybe a month if you were lucky to get it. And a lot of mail came up missing and thrown away by ITI up there. One of our videos, I told everybody they used the tool. They used every tool in their box to try to break a man's spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the main one, is connection with our family. cut the communication with our family, control the environment. That's what they did.
Outlaw says that's why he's amused that they all had telepathic powers to send messages to the street. Oh, assumed. That he said assumed. He assumed, not amused. Yes. Well, it is amusing, and it is a hard assumption. I mean, how does it go like that? If it takes that long for actual snail mail letter to go through the process, I personally would ask Brant questions, because this is how we got to know each other, was through handwritten letters. And it might be a month, 6 weeks later, I'm getting a response, and I swear I don't remember what my question was. So he's answering a question I can't even remember. I think we had to work out a system to where, like, we had to write out the question that was being answered. Otherwise, it was madness. And that's part of the torture too, is to break honest communication, to keep us from actually developing a healthy rapport.
And a healthy relationship, and even maintain a relationship with your family, your kids, your mother, your pops, your grandma, whoever, your sister, brother. And, that whole place was designed to break your spirit. I mean, you got to remember, we're already in prison, so we're paying our debt to society for whatever punishment, right? And then on top of that, they label you as a gang member or an associate because you know somebody, and that somebody lent you a book to read. That's a wrap. You're done. And you will be there for the rest of your life unless you die, debrief, or parole. But if somebody assaulted staff, or even on the yard with another inmate, you go do 2-3 years and you get back out. How fucking backwards is that?
Well, I don't see that there was a point to locking everybody up in the first place, not like that. And there's some really weird hype going on right now about how the release of the hunger strikers caused an influx of problems. Oh, we know better than that, and I'd like to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so if you look at some of the comments on that movie, which we did, and there's a bunch of foul ones, right? And I'll tell you, man, a lot the shit that's going on now, but most of it again is the SNY classification, the PC guys, and they're not the ones that CDCR is going to try to reshoot. It's us. So we're getting blamed for a whole different classification group of people we're not even around, we don't talk to, we don't deal with, we don't fuck around with. So, it's like if you're going to put people in the shoe again, put the people in the shoe that, that are where all the shit is coming from, and be honest about it. Be honest about it. Don't put me and my friends and my hunger strike brothers in the shoe again over a whole different yard of group of people we have zero influence, zero conversation, zero interaction with. So what they'll do is they'll use those numbers to try to convince the public and everybody else this is where we need to be, instead of actually putting those people who are...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Now that's what I'm fucking talking about, is they're trying to shoehorn their bullshit into ours and bamboozle the public.
Well, it's like you're setting up barriers of understanding. Right. It's like this stuff's going on. It's generated in-house by staff
Right.
or by
Mhm.
administration for creating a
Mhm.
system that would have all this inconsistency, and then turning around after the fact and saying those guys did it, when those guys are just trying to,
Right.
eat their beans and figure out how to go home.
Right. I mean, look at the guys that were on that movie. Okay, the only thing that kept them in the shoe the whole time from paroling was them not debriefing and sitting in the shoe pre-Astor. And they get out after Astor, and sure enough, boom, they get to go within a year, 2 years. So they probably would have been home a decade or two prior to getting out at on Astor case if they would have been released to the main line.
Right.
If they would have been released to GP. But because they wouldn't debrief, which I've been saying this whole time, you couldn't get out on parole if you didn't debrief before Astor, And so my friend Jack, he got out of the shoe, honor intact, integrity intact. 17 months after he got out, he was released home. And that probably would have happened for that man years ago if they would have let him out of the shoe, but they wouldn't because he would not debrief. So hey, that shows you how fucked up that thing was, man. And it's still going on. It's still going on, man. You cannot take your eye off the ball. Look how brazen they were, baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
When they went and had to speak in front of Congress, look how they were, man. Look at their attitudes. Look at their postures. Look at the tone of their words. Like, Scott Kernan got questioned by Kelly Mitchell, and she told him what she said about by their policies. She herself would probably be validated 3 times over and stuck in the shoe. And who decides?
Well, that's the key there. Who decides? And there was another point brought up about how they have come over the courts completely. They don't need the courts to make these decisions for them. They're just going to rule on their own accord. How is that even legal?
Right. But get this though, man. Scott Kernan couldn't even answer a question because you know what he didn't want to tell her?
And he was making
Mrs. Mitchell. Let me tell you, Miss Mitchell, when you go to the shoe validation, you're never getting out unless you die, turn snitch, or parole. He didn't give her an answer because if he did, he would have had to tell her that as the answer because that would have been the truth and nothing but the truth. I mean, he probably would have lied.
And you're not going to parole out.
Give her an answer.
You're not going to parole out of there if you're a lifer, right? Unless you debrief.
Exactly. So then that cuts you down to 2 options: dying or debriefing. Or actually 3: upholding your integrity. And that's what he did. That's what we did. That's what my friend Dadisi, the black guy on that show, he was my neighbor for about 5 years. Jack was above me, and he was my upstairs neighbor for about 4 or 5 years. But I've known him since 2000. And, it's a great thing that them guys got out, man. It really got to me hearing their voices, folks. I mean, those are my friends, man. And those men I fucking starved with, man. We starved together, man. And, we did something for the greater good and the kids that came after us.
Well, and you also endured torture together. And that's an even stronger bonding, which makes me question, what is this trauma-informed bullshit that they're pushing? What is trauma-informed when you're creating so much trauma?
Right. I mean, it says everything that these people would go to Congress and blatantly defend their position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defend isolating that man for 30 years for an associate validation. 30 years in isolation. And I know Jack very well. He did not have a 115 write-up for damn near, I think, all 30 years he was in that shoe. But they would still not let him out to the main line. And folks, look, it was a horrible thing to do that to people, man. And, they don't want to talk.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We're making the main line safer for the rest of. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not making nothing safer protecting child molesters and rapists. You're not making nothing safer by letting them out of prison and they're reoffenders like 10 times over. You know, that is a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm. It is.
They're not. They're not making nothing safer, folks. And they want you to believe that, though, by their fear-mongering and their snitch tubers. And they want you to believe that because they want you to believe that we are the problem in the prison rise in violence on the statistical chart or whatever. That's so far removed from the truth. I'll tell you this. I went to court and had a conversation with somebody. I won't say no names, but he said my percentage of 90% of the problem is the S and Y's is wrong. He said, Daniel, it's 99.9% of the problems for CDCR and the rise in violence and staff assault is coming off S and Y yards. And this is from their own, who is a union representative. So, not me, it's not us. 99.9%. But yet, when they talk about this on these snitch tubers, these other channels, shit like that, they shoehorn and parlay that into us. Wrong. Straight up.
Shoehorn and parlay nothing. They wrap you up in it.
Yep. And yet they know we have nothing to do with that classification and that type of life. Nothing. So, it's pathetic. And everybody needs to come together, man. If they do not, it's going to happen, and it is happening again. It is happening again, man. It's, right, babe? I mean...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Let me call back.
Okay. Yeah, we do need to get Scoops out of there too, for sure. That's what we're doing. Fighting a good fight. God bless the Constitution. Kids, that's why we're able to do what we're able to do. Absolutely, I'll read that after he's on here.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged.
Okay, be quiet.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Okay.
All right.
So we got some comments. Dogs in the house. And
What's up, dog? We sitting on.
Outlaw says we need to get you out too, Scoops. And Dog says,
That's right, bro.
we got to stand for human rights or we're criminal as a society.
That's right, dog. I mean, I tell people that naysay us and talk shit, they only do that until it's one of their people going through the life we've gone through.
So Outlaw says, boogeyman means a fabricated story or mythological character adults use on kids to get them to submit to their authority.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's exactly right.
Mm.
That's exactly right.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Sure is.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say it. I'll just upset too many people. But
Mm,
you know, you gotta wonder why
yeah.
why we go through this in our lives. I mean, how did we get here in the
Mm-hmm.
first place? I
Right.
mean, I understand how some folks got in this situation as far as being criminals, but
Mm-hmm.
these are people who are just out of control and hurting people all along the way. And
Right.
and I can understand where they come in on both sides of that, really. But isn't that what needs to be eradicated and corrected, is to fix that brokenness and stop trying to turn
Mm-hmm.
dysfunctional people into criminals? I mean, you
Right.
start out bad or poorly or misdirected or not a good lead, and you're not gonna just gravitate towards goodness. You're gonna gravitate towards
Mm-hmm.
the stimuli. And
Yep.
it, you know, there's
Well,
too many
like, what is?
people that are similar in your situation. They weren't criminals or were just in a situation that left them in an odd spot. They got caught up, yeah, associating
Mm-hmm.
with the wrong types or whatever. But it's like, if that's a problem, why is why is the factions of the three-letter groups promoting the problem in the first place and feeding it with all these illicit drugs? I don't think the drugs get in as easily as they claim underside. I think they come in a
No.
whole lot faster on the
I'm.
top side.
I'm. I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole here, man. But I'll tell you now, man. It's it's their fearmonger go-to car right there. It's,
Well, even
that's these dudes doing this. But like I said,
what I'm
it's
talking
their
about
whole
is
fear.
how life itself is being institutionalized, not just the institution themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they're,
Mhm.
the way the schools are structured, the insanity that they're brewing amongst society. I don't think people start acting up like that on their own. I think they're brainwashed or confused and misled, like the whole trans thing. There's a bunch of sick people
Yeah.
there that need help, and yet
Mhm.
they're the ones that are being upheld the most in society. That's what I mean by
Yeah.
an institutionalized
Well, then they
society.
send them. Then they send them to prison, and they make you guys pay for their surgeries. They
Right.
make you guys pay for their medication,
Mm-hmm.
and they treat them like like they're golden. But I tell you this, babe. That fucking that video that we were listening to with the Ron Broomfield and the statistics, and
Oh yeah, that
how
was
they were
on
talking about
Prisneyland.
Prisneyland, yeah. Well, this guy Ron Broomfield's going through there, and he's saying some shit like, what do you call it? You're not getting out if you're institutionalized or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's what he said. We're not going to let you out if you're institutionalized. We want you out as a normal part of society.
This
Meanwhile,
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I mean, how anybody got more than 6 months in time doing time in a box? You're institutionalized, and getting up in the morning every day at the same time doing the same thing, that's institutionalized, and you're not giving the note to anybody to help break that cycle. So let me tell you again, they started a California model on SNY yards, right? Knowing that when they do that, it's doomed to fail. It's set up to fail. Because them yards are circus. Those yards are a wild, animal infested, chomo, rapo, weirdo, homo, whatever.
I gather there's a lot of drugs there from watching some of these snitch tubers.
Shows, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're staying
Yeah,
high. They're
well,
not getting any type of
Yeah,
rehabilitation.
and those are complete wild anarchy circuses. So, and you know the bizarre thing is CDCR headquarters knows it, right?
Oh, of course they do.
And I asked the warden, why did you guys implement that program on those type of yards? And here's what he told me. Warden Jeff Litch said, we did that because if we could fix those fucked up people, we could fix anybody. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Those people don't even want to be fixed. They don't want to participate in self-help. They don't want none of that. So why don't you alter a few things in that program and start offering it to GP yards? You know? And if they don't participate, okay, but find out why. Why is it that a person don't want to participate in that self-help, whatever it is you got going? And make certain alterations, because according to McCumber, they're going to make adjustments. Now, you know, so they put it on in yards, and it's destined to fail, and it's a waste of money, and they know it. And you know,
but it doesn't have. But it doesn't have to fail. That's the sad part of all.
I know. And then I want to also tell y'all something. I heard a video the other day about the Castillo settlement and the Castillo hunger strike trip back in 2000. And, okay, I was there at Pelican Bay in the shoe when that took place, right? And it was poorly organized, poorly executed, and it was just like a spur of the moment, hey, let's go 5 days. And they even told the guy, Castillo and his whoever was with him, told staff we're only going for 5 days, so don't trip. That's the difference between well-organized, planned-out hunger strikes that were people were willing to die to change the system, and a hoax. A hoax. You know, I mean, you don't tell the cops we're only going 3 or 4 days and then we're going to eat. Don't worry about it. And then the guy promised, Castillo guy, he promised he wouldn't take a settlement payment. He wouldn't take a check. He told all his people and all of our people he ain't going to take a payment check. And he did.
Hey, Outlaw wants to know the date of that. What was the date on that?
That was July 1st of 2000 to July. No. July 5th. Yeah, July 1st of 2000 to July 5th of 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got some chatter. Dog says it's good to see a documentary's getting good viewership and doing a lot better than most PBS videos.
That's right, man. Yeah, dog.
And Outlaw says, poor black, brown, and white don't own airplanes to smuggle drugs, and we don't own firearm companies, just micromanage for business for the 1%. Well, I'm not involved. So, but I see it right near me. I'm watching it all day long with one of my neighbors, and it sickens me because it's just constant traffic. And I try to do something about it, and nothing can be done. It's like, who's running this show?
Right, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It is. It's crazy. And you know what? I tricked out on how brazen, though, right? The CDCR was at the hearings, babe. I can't get over that. It's like These fucking bums. Hey, and then did you hear how homeboy said they came by ourselves with trays that were massive
Yep.
amounts of food, trying to get us to come off? Like the audacity of these dirty fucking pigs, man. You know? They did not anticipate the weight and gravity behind it. And they hated us. They hate us up there. They hated us bad. And they protect their snitches. They protect their child molesters. And they protect the rapists.
Well, they protect the people that are most harmed for society overall.
Right.
And but they call you somebody who would be harmful for society. I saw all those guys that got let out. No, they're not doing no trouble. They just want to go home, do their, and just like you know, done with trouble.
Right.
Trouble won't get off your ass.
Right. On that other video, what was that with the Ron Broomfield, the statistical review thing? What was that called?
Prisneylamd.
So the lady was talking about if you go online and read the reports and the sexual assaults, the murders, all that shit comes off SOYRs, not us. That shit don't come on GPRs. And let me tell you something, those reports, again, shitloads of them are falsified. And it's been proven over and over. Look at the Astor ruling that let Todd out of the RCT program. Judge Wilkin determined 9 out of 10 confidential informant documents were bogus and falsified by cops who did not like Todd Astor. 9 out of 10, baby girl. That's 90% failure in bullshit.
So what gives them the license to fuck with people because they don't like them?
Well, because they control the environment.
But I thought they were supposed to be agents of the law, not abusers of the law.
They are. They're supposed to be agents of the law, but
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
When they come into these prisons, that goes out the.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
That goes out the window, you know. And we've seen that with that guy that wrote that 115 on Ronnie when he slammed Ronnie.
Right.
You know, he didn't. That word gently lay Mr. Yandel to the ground. Gently. Bullshit.
Well, I hope he gently trips and falls. Yeah. Imagine living in. I just can't. I can't imagine living in that environment, even standing on the precipice of it constantly. I still can't wrap my head around the intensity of what it must be to live in there, and they want to justify this as normal. How do you go about uninstitutionalizing people when you're tormenting them constantly?
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, you're back.
All right, I'm back, baby.
You're back. So we got some chatter in the chat.
Tell me.
Outlaw says that he said, "Now you're lying because they just say they left main lines to leave the violence, manipulation, and drugs behind for a better environment."
Say that again.
He said, "No, you're lying because snitches say they left main lines to leave the violence, manipulation, and drugs behind for a better environment."
That's funny. money.
And I say, let's look at those yards. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're looking in yards, my friend. Yeah, that's fun. Fucking, there ain't nothing that's better in the environment on them yards. Absolutely nothing. You know, they go around on them yards fucking knocking each other out. They play, they got weird shit going down,
It
man.
sounds like they like playing like that, though.
Yeah, I guess. I'm cool, man. Yeah, I'm cool.
And that's 80% of the prison population.
It is. I think it's even more than that. I think it's like 86.
Okay, and these are the people who don't need prison. These are the people that need some type of institutionalizing for real, like mental health or whatever. I mean, the ones that are
Right.
that are genuine in there. And I know there's a lot of people that go there thinking it's going to be different and end up regretting everything they ever did. Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, man, when they go over there, they've damaged. They put guys like Jack and myself in the shoe forever for doing nothing but reading a book or borrowing somebody's book or being your friend. Just because I'm your friend, I got to go to the shoe forever based on one of them guys that snitches. Oh, Scoops and
no, they'd rather live in that environment.
Both validated.
They'd rather live in that environment and throw themselves under the bus than be an honest person.
Yeah, well, they're not throwing themselves on the bus; they're throwing everybody else under the bus.
Well, but then they have to go to that shitty place and live there for the rest of their lives. So it's like it's like there is no purgatory, there is no heaven. It's hell or hell.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah.
Anyways, Outlaw says the documentary had a brief clip of the Native Indian dancers Brant heard from his cell during the hunger strike. Yeah, it did. I don't know. I don't remember seeing it, but I remember hearing it. I was, I try to experience these things as Brant does, so I tend to not watch the screen. I mean, I'll if there's a pause, I'll stop it so I can read what's because there's those little comments. But I listen along, glance occasionally.
Yeah, baby. Baby girl, I listen.
But it was a treat and actually a magical moment to see those dancers coming out of visit.
Yeah.
And they're there, and they were ethereal. They weren't people. They were magic spirits. They were so powerful in their intent and their purpose, and they were they glowed. They were stunning.
Girl. Oh, baby girl, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, they were. All right. You see, people like we lived it, man. So we hit your heart because we lived it, and it's real. It's real. It's not. This shit ain't fake, man. It ain't fake. Just please understand, it ain't fake. Can you do 10 years in your bathroom, never ever touching a person, and or shaking a man's hand, or hugging your mom, or hugging your wife or your kid?
A bathroom with no window and no mirror.
No window, no nothing. Okay, now let me ask you this. To those who say, oh, well, you did it to yourself, what about the victims? Okay, I get that, right? I understand that. But what about the guy I had for Sally, a good friend of mine named Big Chuck, back in 1998, who murdered and killed a guy for raping his 14-year-old daughter? Okay, so that guy, my friend Chuck's victim counts? He caught him in the act.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
caught him in the act, raping his daughter, and my friend killed him for raping his daughter. Is that okay to you? Is that acceptable? Because if it is, then you're a piece of shit. You're garbage. You're garbage. And I hope one day you truly got to feel the impact of that, because you know, your type of people are protecting those people. And if they would have sent that guy to prison, they would have protected him in prison. But my friend got 15 to life for killing that guy. So what about those people? Or the kid that is in the backseat of a car when his buddy did a robbery at the 7-Eleven, and the kid didn't even know because he was passed out asleep. But yet, he got 12 years because he wouldn't snitch.
Wrong place,
What about
wrong
that kid?
time. Wrong place, wrong time. Would have upheld his honor. Yeah.
Right. What about that kid? So miss me with your shit. Miss me with your fucking splitting hairs and your sideshow excuses, man.
Until you're actually a victim yourself, and then you better find forgiveness, just like everybody else has to find forgiveness, because holding that vengeance,
And I'll tell you,
an eye for an eye, and the world goes blind.
And I'll tell you, man, you know, I know where I fucked up at in my life, and I humble myself, apologize, and move forward. I'm not gonna live in sorrow about it. You know, it's a terrible thing. We make mistakes in life, and we move forward. And it ain't everybody's fault. Nope. It's my fault. I've made some mistakes in my life. That said, you know, along the way, I've learned a few things, you know, and I've grown a little bit. I'm not the same person they put in prison, and from the day one, and I have a serious problem with their justice system that is designed for failure. And if you don't think it is, you're fucking completely stupid. And I don't care if you don't like that.
Outlaw says that SNY is full of individuals who are known in free societies, people who backstab a friend, steal from family, sleep with a friend's girl, basically scandalous individuals with or without drugs or alcohol.
Exactly. That's because, you know why, Outlaw? They have no honorable character.
Right.
They have no integrity. They have no integrity. That's the type of people, exactly, man.
And you can
Exactly.
change. Those people can change. I've seen it, but most of them won't. It's too much work. It's too much. It's too much honesty to look at oneself and own one's own issues and problems. But
Yeah.
you know, it's easy to blame, and we know several people who will never ever change, and you just kind of hope they do. But you brace yourself. You know they won't. And the healthy thing is to protect yourself and keep yourself in a situation that is comfortably warm. But you know, you never know when somebody's going to involve you in something walking down the street. You never know.
No, you got no idea. You got no idea. I've seen many good men in fucked up positions, or, you know, like the kid sleeping in the back seat of the car while his homeboy, the passenger and the driver going to 7-Eleven doing robbery.
Or somebody who needs help. A stranger might need help, and they're like setting you up.
Right. And they might be, I've seen that too. I've seen that many times. But, you know, I guess in these people's eyes that believe it should be one way, that don't count. And I'll tell you, That'll change. That'll change, folks. That'll change when it hits them at home.
Yep.
That'll change when some guys raping their daughter and then they send that guy to prison and they protect him in prison and he only gets 3 years.
Or less.
Oh, that'll change.
Mm-hmm.
Or less. That'll change then. But yeah, the writing's on the wall, what they're trying to do, man. The writing is on the wall. It is very clear. And I'm hoping y'all enjoyed that video, that movie. And, because, not enjoyed it, but the gravity of that Pelican Bay shoe.
I'll put that Prisneylamd link in there, too, so that we have a link in the description for the movie The Strike. It's on PBS.
Right,
You can also find it on PBS.
So during that movie, The Strike in there, they said that people cannot stay in the shoe longer than 5 years, right? Well, I beg to differ. I've been in the shoe 9. Ag-Tech, solitary shoe, RHU, whatever they want to call it. I got 9 years and counting with no end in sight, right? So, the other day I was talking with the counselor and he flat out said, I don't understand how they are doing this. They violate the law. They're violating their own policies and their rules and regulations by keeping me in the ag-seg and isolated. And I've written to Kelly Walters. Kelly Walters
from
at
LSPC.
Legal Services for Prisoners.
LSPC.
At Legal Services for Prisoners with Children. And she's the one that's supposed to be taking over the Asker fight. And I've written to her many, many times. My wife has sent her many emails and messages trying to get through to get some type of assistance because it is a violation of law and policy to keep me in the hole still.
And it all falls on deaf ears.
And it falls on deaf ears. You know why? Because I'm white.
Well, we don't know
and
that.
They don't care.
Is anybody else trying to get at her?
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Okay.
I do know.
Okay.
They told me.
Who told you?
So when
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not going to put their names out there.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
Fair enough.
Because I have class. So when they tell me that it's my skin color, then what more do I need? So, and that's a shame because I fought alongside of everybody, and I joined forces with all people in Pelican Bay Shoe for the better cause. And so it's like
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Here you got these people constantly violating the laws and rules, and nothing happens to them. But you let me, Ronnie, or Robert, my friend Robert, or anybody else do it, they're screwed. And we're screwed. It should not be like that, man. Let me call back.
All right, he's gonna get back. You're absolutely right, dog. We all noticed it. Ugh. And I heard that there was a lot of material that wasn't in there, so who knows what got trimmed and what did or didn't get recorded. But overall, the message came through.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
So, Outlaw says, why change when CDCR and law enforcement encourage the behavior by rewarding the scandalous traits with no consequences or accountability?
Exactly. That's how it is, Outlaw. There's no accountability or nothing, man. when law enforcement violate the law and lie under oath or whatever, falsify documents and shit, you know, the only time they've ever been held responsible is when Kevin Steele went after them, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. And right now, it's all being swept under the rug, man. It's all being swept under the rug. You know,
Dog,
if you guys
before you go on, Dog said he agrees with you, and they minimized the white involvement in the strike movie, or was he just being sensitive?
Right, and I get it, dog. I listened to it, and there wasn't no whites represented on there, and there's a reason for that. Trust me, there's a reason for that. I just can't put it out there right here, but I mean, we are represented, and you know, Todd was on there for a minute, but you're right, and I get it. But there was a big thing that, you know, we had to kind of change our mindset, and we would rather speak out like this directly, my voice to your ears right now, not in an edited form, because in the past they have taken snippets and edits and done some foul shit with it on people, and we weren't cool with that. So,
well, it didn't look like they were going to try to do that in this movie, but
right.
You know, they're on the side of caution, correct?
Right. And we didn't know I didn't know they were doing the movie that it was going to be like that, a biography or nothing.
Well, no one even came to you, and you were already out publicly.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't know, but you know, it was well done, and you could feel the depth and the gravity, and you know, but there was a reason why a white guy wasn't on there, you know, representing the woods and on all that. But we are represented.
Well,
Todd was the main guy.
I didn't see that at all, as far as, you know, representing in the sense of I mean, I saw it was people in the shoe being represented as a whole. Yeah, maybe the white face wasn't there, but it kind of was. But it wasn't. I don't think that was their intention. Oh, really? He hung up on me? Ugh. Well, let's see. Ooh. What I'm getting is that they were more politically correct than anything else. And yeah, that is for the direction of the sympathizers who still play that leave the white person out in their black, brown, and poor mantra.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just explaining how I thought it was more of a politically correct thing than a factions
right.
thing. That
right.
You know goes along.
And none of us got out though. None of us had been let out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
Think of that. None of us. And Danny T went to Youth Offender Parole Board in 2016, and they would not let him go home, just like they would not let me go home. And they told him he has to debrief. They told me I have to debrief, and we wouldn't. So we got denied parole.
Huh.
We wouldn't. Yeah, that's true. That's a true story, man. So, but you know, we are represented. You know, Todd's the one that read that Bobby Sands book and came up with the idea and gave it to everybody else, man. And everybody participated in that. We all put our blood and sweat and tears into that day, man. And And it was such a powerful moment in my time in prison to reach across these racial divides, man. And like that guy Daisy, that the black man in that show last night, in that movie, that said he would never got out of prison if it wasn't for the hunger strikes. Me and that guy had many hours of conversation on the vent together, living side by side together, starving ourselves together. And then me and Ronnie, same thing, starving ourselves together. All of us right there, man. And that's something that builds a bond that is it's unbreakable.
I don't think it's fair to say that you starved yourselves when the situation, the entire every element of it was causing you all starvation of all types, not just sustenance.
Right. Well, you're right, but we were just at our wits' end. We were sick of it, right? It's like we're gonna, like the guy in Farouk said, we're gonna die here anyways, right? And nothing. Like I remember my friend Abbasi telling me, a BGF guy, validated BGF dude, telling me that it's a shame. It's fucking disheartening to know that, or to feel that we're gonna die right here and nobody's gonna know or care. And he goes, fuck it, I'm doing the strike. I said, me too, man. It's on and cracking. And for anybody to say we cheated, you're a lying piece of shit, man. I was there. They took everything I had out of my cell. And to those big mouths who want to run their mouths about anything with my name or anybody's name, well, you know where I live. Come check me out. Come check me out.
Doug said he agrees and that he watched it with his wife and she saw it was a beautiful moment of racial harmony and solidarity for human rights.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, man, it was.
That hasn't stopped.
No.
And
No.
like you said,
we gotta reunite though, babe. Baby girl and everybody, we have to reunite this push.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I've been saying, man. Because what we had then and the traction we had it's like a 4x4 stuck in the mud, spinning its tires to go forward, but you're sliding backwards.
Well, what I think is with this whole, labeling, white man bad sort of thing, it doesn't matter what race they pick, as long as there is that divide and that they can keep us separated. And it's just been too easy to blame the white man, because it was the man and, the suits and all that. And it's like, no, it's us and them, but it's class. And even in classes, we have to come together because there's too many lower level classes that need to bond together in unity and to beat the ruling class.
Well, Daisy, the baby girl, that guy Daisy there on that movie, when he was my neighbor, and him and Ronnie was in my vent, Daisy was in my vent, and my friend Well Smooth was in my vent. And we would all get up there and talk, man, about life. I mean, some good conversation for years.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Good, real conversations, right? And I remember, being a kid coming into prison, you're like, oh man, he's black, he's my enemy. No, he's not. And Ronnie put it to me like this, as did Daisy. If you're walking down this hallway and you see 10 officers beating on Daisy, and you're walking by that issue, by the incident, you got 10 cops and stomping him and beating him and stomping. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to fucking help him. You goddamn right I'm going to help my friend. Fuck these pigs. And that right there, it put a lot of shit in perspective for me and all of us, because, you know, if they're beating him, they're beating me. If they're beating me, they're beating the Mexican. If they're beating the Mexican, they're beating us. We were going through the same situation in life, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so whoever knocks what we did or tries to overshadow it with some bullshit 2000, the year 2000 strike that was fake as fuck anyways, and the guy took a payout off my fucking skin, you know.
All y'all
Go to hell,
scam.
man.
All y'all.
All y'all. Go to hell. Go to hell.
So Outlaw
You know,
says
and Outlaw
you all should be extremely proud. You gentlemen accomplished something many black, brown, and white convicts died trying to accomplish.
That's right, my friend. I am proud. I am proud that I participated, and I regret not being able to go more, because I tell you, it needs to be right now.
Yeah.
Because this shit is going backwards, man.
Uh-huh.
They found a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
They're using confidential information still, and they said, "Okay, you're right. We won't validate you. But we're giving everybody safety concerns out of nowhere."
Mm-hmm.
And even the cops see it. The cops admit it. They know it. But they're not going to speak out against their boss, the administration. They're not going to do it.
Well, in that Prisneylamd, there was Broomfield there talking about how they weren't going to allow any institutionalized people out, that they had to be normalized. But they're not normalizing.
What's that mean?
They're not.
What's that mean to you?
That means that they're going to decide who never gets out, and they're not normalizing people. They're okay. I was speaking to a prison. Well, she's a mitigator for the courts and works in the prison all the time, and she goes to all these prisons, and she said there's only like 2 yards, one in one prison and one in the other, that's actually got this functioning California model. Like you said, there was a guy that came back there and he said how good it was and everything, and but it's only 2 yards in the whole prison system. There's San Quentin and Valley State, and then the rest, there's like they're calling them program, but as Lieutenant Gonzalez expressed, they're mocking and playing games and doing weird experiments with the sickest of the sick to see how they act with the little freedoms. Meanwhile, they're actually doing something functional on a couple of other yards. Now, where do you think all the money's going?
To their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
To their pockets. It ain't going to them programs. Like, I mean, so putting furniture, concrete with pads on it, with an inch pad on it in Valley State prison day rooms is rehabilitative? I mean, really?
Well, I think there's something else going on there, but it's not the whole prison. It's just one yard, or maybe even
1 yard.
So you know, they're saying that all this programming is happening everywhere, when there's 34 prisons, and each prison has 4 yards each. So that's
there are 3 or 4, yes.
So let's just say out of 120 yards, 2 of them have this program going that seems to be reasonably well, while the rest of the system is decay and chaos and the horror story.
It's in shambles. It's in shambles. Like, so I'm gonna tell y'all something. Couple of these fucking goons, couple of these fucking knuckle dragging goons came to me, and recently, very recently. And you know what? I'm just going to hold back on putting their names out there right now. But I know they're listening. They come to me very recently and try to call a few of my friends like they're working, you know, hand in hand with the cops, right? Snitches. They call my friends that, right? And they think it's funny. They think it's funny by doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They think it's, you know, they still have not learned their lesson about trying to play prison politics, right? They want to get all in the mix. They want to do all this weird shit. And they come to me and tell me about two other guys, and I'm sure they gone to them and did the same thing over there and just watching to see what happens.
Well, isn't that how we found out you were at battle with one of your friends through Snitch 2 Media?
Right. A battle that never happened. I was at battle with nobody, so I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And he wasn't at battle with me. That was their battle. That was their narrative. That was their story that they wanted you to believe.
Yep.
So,
and they're doing it again.
So and they're doing it again. So that's what you meant.
Yes.
And I know it. So, and they're never going to stop doing this shit, folks. You know, they're playing one against the other, and then they're watching to see what happens. And for me, that is one of the major problems going on right now.
Okay.
Because say, for instance, thank God I got enough sense not to react.
Wait a minute, though. How much of what's going on those other yards is the same formulations?
It's probably a lot. It's probably a lot going on that's contrived by the man, contrived by the pig, contrived by OCS and IGI. Probably a lot, I have to say. Probably a lot.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I mean, they're trying
60 seconds remaining.
They're trying to shut down Suki Lewis's podcast, but I think
really?
that's well. I mean, not shut it down, but they're shutting it and saying it's full of shit and all that. But yeah, let's get that feedback going. Okay, so seems like a quiet little day here in the chat. Just a couple of my most beloved fans of our show. He's coming back. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Okay. Okay. We're getting so animated.
So you were saying they were trying to shut down that podcast at Suki Lewis?
No, not shut it down, but there's a lot of shunning from certain individuals saying that it's, you know, it's bullshit, or, you know, it didn't happen that way. What these people need to realize is this stuff's in the courts and proven, not to mention there's lots of video.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going. Yeah, absolutely. And not only is it proven, there's material evidence of what she said, and there's material evidence of what actually happened. And you have a couple high-powered federal lawyers that have gotten involved, and they would not get involved if it was a conspiracy. If it was a conspiracy contrived by a prisoner. Mm-hmm. It is not a conspiracy. Mm-mm. And I'm telling you right now, that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. No,
That's a
lawyers don't take
And-
cases they don't think they can win.
Not only that, I know what you're talking about, and I know it is not a conspiracy. It is a fact. But they use their little pawns and they use their people.
I wonder how many of these 62 deaths were somehow urged along, or fed, given some psychological steroids or whatever.
Right. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't claim to know. But I tell you this, probably quite a few are contrived with the cops. Have, like I said, they either got the handprint on it, something.
Well, I think that's why they want to blame the people like you, conducting some sort of directives, because they're actually doing it. I mean, isn't that how that goes? If you're up to no good, the first thing you do is turn around and accuse someone else of doing it.
That's how they do it. Yeah, that's how they do it. And it shows a lot that these two morons came to me recently, trying to sow some seeds again, after everything's been exposed, after we all know what they're doing and continuing to do, they're still doing this shit, folks. Still doing it.
Didn't you say they came out of? Didn't you say they came off of some other area to come see you? It wasn't like that's where they work. They were from somewhere else.
Yeah. No, they don't work here. They work on another yard. They work on the main line.
It seems like some busy work.
Thank God, wait a minute. Thank God I can control my reactions. Because if I didn't, they probably would have went and created some documents, and I'm sure they went over there to my other friends and did the same to them about me and my other friends, and because this is what they do. And I'm telling you guys now, man, it's time to wake up and unite this fight. We got to stop these people. How is it that, think of this, babe, and everybody, that you heard the video, we can't be in the shoe longer than 5 years. But I got 9 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other people that coming up on 5 years pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And they just keep violating the law. They just keep violating it, not caring. No accountability, no responsibility, no nothing. And why? You got to think of it. Why would anybody want to honor their rules and policies when they don't?
Oh, right. It's like the only time they get in real trouble is if they falsify documents that can be proven.
Yeah, and it's proven. I mean, like big time proven. Yeah.
They don't get in trouble for anything else, do they?
They don't get in trouble for nothing else. And like the guy on that show, Prisneylamd, he was talking about the reason, the California, something about the California model, or somebody was talking about how the California model failed, and the R on CDCR failed, and the only reason all of it's failing is because your staff wants it to fail. They actively participate in the sabotage of the programs.
Mm-hmm.
When you got them going around telling me and my friends about other friends being snitches, or some weird comment about so and so to me and to homeboy or whatever friend, and it's like, they are actively participating in politics, lying politics, false politics, and
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
sabotaging any rehabilitation. what's worse is they're actively trying to get a man taken out.
Mhm.
That's what that is.
Well, I think they
That's
managed.
not, hey, let me just put you up on, that's not, let me just put you up on some game. That is, let me see if I can get this other guy taken out by doing this.
Well, it's absolutely been proven with Aguilar.
Yeah. And that's shit like that, yeah. Yeah. So, and it's still going on. It's still going on.
Mhm.
And me and Alma was talking yesterday, and while we were talking, they were sabotaging my tablet. And then they came to my door and said some stupid shit last night. So, you know, they don't not like the truth coming out. So, and it's, you know, I'm sure they're working on something right now. They're probably trying to shut me out, or, you know, because they do not like the truth coming out, y'all. And,
Yeah. Well,
you know, and I know y'all got my back. I know if they try anything, you got my back, and my wife can count on you guys to send multiple fucking, you know, memorandums to everybody and let them know what's going on here. What's going on for real?
you know, Doug
You
said.
know, and that,
Doug said about in the movie, Todd mentioned he wouldn't stop the strike for those exact reasons. He knew their word was shit. We're seeing it now.
yeah.
Exactly. We're on that same train.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yep.
doing it a little
Yeah,
differently.
we would never stop this. We would never stop the strike for a beanie and a handball. No way. And that's what they wanted society to believe.
Right. That you were like
Terry
gullible and
Thornton.
weak. Uh-huh.
Terry Thornton,
Terry
the
Thornton.
spokesperson for CDCR, wanted everybody to believe that we quit the strike for a beanie watch cap and a handball. Straight bullshit. And then she was telling everybody that we were eating and sneak eating and that we're lying, but yet men were dropping 40, 50 pounds, being weighed every 2 or 3 days. Our food, everything, if people had it, was getting taken out of your cell, put in a bag in a secret room somewhere. So that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That is, and you see how homeboys are talking about they came through on the 4th of July, and then they went around spreading bogus rumors that the strike is over, trying to get people to eat. So that's how they do that. That's how they do it. And it ain't over. They're definitely trying to shut it down. They're definitely trying to stop us from moving forward, folks. And I'm telling you now, man, this shit has to change. Because all they did was change the color of the lipstick on that pig, man.
Yep.
Yep. Baby girl, you know it. You know it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know it.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been standing on the
Y'all know it.
precipice of this abyss for 16 years.
A long time. A long time, baby girl. And I thank you for it, man. I thank you for sticking with this old motherfucking battle axe.
Well,
This
honey,
old battle axe right here.
it's what I'm supposed to do. You know, I'm just
Mhm.
following my spiritual path, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And I can't wait to share with you some personal information that I got.
I know.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we're gonna wrap it up here soon because I
We
think
are.
we're just
We
gonna
are.
beat
Okay,
this
folks,
horse.
look. Y'all want to make any last questions or shoot your questions and comments real quick before we end this one? I wanted y'all to know my take on the video. Excellent video. The gravity of it was heavy as fuck. And I wanted to point you guys out. If you can just go back to the part in the video of Scott Kernan and Holly Mitchell. Check that out again. Check out the next part of it where Kelly Harrington was telling them, yeah, they get annual calls. Annual calls in a beanie. And they said that as far as they're concerned, they already addressed the hunger strike shit. It's over. and it wasn't. So they're actively lying to people of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to lie to them people, what do you think they're doing to us?
Mm-hmm.
And you, the people. You guys are the people. So, baby girl, you got any questions right there or comments before we jam?
Not yet. Dog and Outlaw, you guys win the participation award.
Yeah, Dog, Outlaw, thank you guys. Outlaw, I'll give you a call in a little bit. I forgot. We'll chop it up. Maybe I'll get you. You got until 4 o'clock, right? Let me know, and I'll give you a holler. Dog, thank you for your participation, both you guys, Kim K, Ken, everybody. So I send mine. Allison, Renee, everybody, whoever I'm missing, man, I send my best, And you guys gotta, I hope you guys understand that shit at Pelican Bay was something. And anybody that says it wasn't is full of shit, man. And it's not the White House. It's just a prison. It was a prison within a prison. And it was horrible. It was horrible. It was meant to break the spirit of a man. And a lot of cops didn't agree with it, but a lot did. And putting a man in his shoe over a label of associate or a member of a gang that they created or over some flimsy evidence other than being held accountable for his own actions, not because he got a write-up for whatever and broke any prison rules, but for a faceless confidential informant saying he was a friend of mine or I was a friend of his or whatever. And then, but it's still going on, my people, my friends, my folks, my brothers of the strike. It's still going on. And so that said, guys, I send my best. Thank you for participating today. And those of you who are running your mouths, you know where I live, man. Keep
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
your cell warrior, fucking booger-eating ass, fucking mouth shut, because you ain't got a fucking clue. And I guarantee you wouldn't last 60 seconds. You wouldn't last 60 fucking seconds. So, with that said, folks, I send my best to the worthy. Baby girl, I love you.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'll call you back. Outlaw, I'll get at you in a second. Dog, everybody, send my love, man. Take care. Stay solid. Keep it solid always.